Good morning, welcome to a new chapter of Between Voices.
In this episode, which provides a space to explore the complex war and migration from the personal motivation that drive people to leave their jobs to the social and economic impact, we analyze the many facets of migration with rigor and sensitivity over the years, from the perspective of two people who live through this event, telling us about their experiences as immigrants.
Today we have two very important guests, Albert Einstein and Elizabeth Kumilev, who have to emigrate from their native country and rebuild their lives as a new one. Below we will learn more about it. Then we will begin with the question. Dr. Einstein, we know that you left Germany in 1933 to derive in the Nazism. Historically, that era was characterized by the persecution of youth and the promotion of an extremist nationalist ideology. How did the growing threat to your personal safety and the loss of your civil rights in your home country influence your decision to emigrate to the United States, a country at that time was adopting a policy of isolation and avoiding involvement in Europe's political and military affairs? And do you particularly remember an event that made you realize that it was no longer safe to stay in Germany?
The escalation of violence and the growing terror against you was undeniable. I remember the book burning of 1933 very clearly. It was an act of barbarity that showed me the true nature of the Nazi regime and the depth of intolerance. I understood that my safety and that of my family was in great danger. The United States, despite its distance from European conflicts, offered a promise of freedom and a space to continue my work, albeit with the enormous regret of leaving so many dear things behind.
Elizabeth, could you tell me what social issues prompted you to emigrate from Venezuela to the United States, including specific details about insecurity, lack of economic opportunities, shortages of basic goods, deteriorating public services, or the other factors that contributed to your decision to leave your country?
My decision to emigrate was due to severe socioeconomic crisis affecting my life and that of my family. Insecurity with frequent robberies and violence made daily life unsustainable. Hyperinflation and shortage of food and medicine made it impossible to meet our basic needs. The collapse of public service, such as electricity and water, worsened the situation. The lack of job opportunities and a deteriorating health system were determining factors in my decision to seek a better future in another country.
Forced migration is a trauma, Miss Elizabeth. It is a thing that profoundly affects identity and sense of belonging. Intolerance, inequality, lack of opportunity, violence. These are factors that drive people to leave their homes. Extreme nationalism, discrimination, and the suppression of human rights generated a climate of fear and insecurity that forces people to seek refuge elsewhere.
Now, a brief pause to mention our responders.
You ever wonder properly? We take you behind the scenes of one of Chile's most beloved brands. Learn about its story, its commitment to quality, the innovation in every yogurt, dessert, and milk, and the voices of those you make it possible for Soprole to reach your table. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all platforms. Because Soprole is you enjoy it also yours.
Elizabeth, in the context of the crisis in Venezuela under the government of Nicolas Maduro, market hyperinflation, shortages, and political repression, many citizens have left their country in search of security and prosperity. Migration has been a necessary choice, but also a heartbreaking one. How have you handled the sense of loss and homesickness in your experience of migrating from Venezuela to the United States? And what has helped you feel more connected to your new life in this country?
Leaving Venezuela was like ripping apart my soul. Nostalgia hits me every day. The memories of home, the smell of coffee in the morning, the laughter of my family. Everything was left behind. When I arrived in the United States, the loneliness was overwhelming. To survive emotionally, I clinged to small rituals. Waking up on Sunday, listening to Venezuelan music, talking to my family on video calls. Until the pain is still present, creating new routines and surrounding myself with the other migrants has helped me feel less alone in the new life.
Dr. Einstein, it is known that you were an outspoken critic of nationalism and militarism, and that your experience as a Hermann who, under the Nazi regime, influenced your stand against the atomic bomb. Could you tell me, explain in detail how your personal experience and scientific work were intertwined in your advocacy of world peace and your opposition to nuclear proliferation?
Experience under the Nazi regime taught me the danger of nationalism and militarism. Commitment to war, peace, and my opposition to nuclear proliferation. A random political matter, but a direct consequence of my personal experience. My understanding of the implication of my scientific work. I deeply believe that science should be used for the benefit of humanity, not for its destruction. This must be a global priority, and nuclear proliferation there to be combated with determination and international cooperation.
Elizabeth, given that in recent years more than 7 million Venezuelans have immigrated, according to UNHCR and OIM figures, many have done so to neighboring countries such as Colombia, Peru, and Brazil, and others such as Spain, Chile, of the United States. What would you say to someone in Venezuela who is considering emigrating?
Look, immigrating isn't easy, but sometimes it's necessary. If you feel like you've run opportunities here, seeking a new beginning abroad can be way out. Do so with your eyes wide open. Educate yourself, plan, and prepare yourself emotionally and legally. Not everything is rosy abroad, but with effort and patience, you can move forward. And if you decide to stay, that's also bravery. The important thing is that you do what you think is best for you. Without guilt and with your heads held high, wherever we are, we remain Venezuelans and fighters.
Nationalism is the most extreme form counteract or world that impedes human progress. Migration, on the contrary, is an engine of innovation. Wrote that cultural enrichment, the stories shared today offer us a window into the reality of migrants and the complexities of nationalism. It is time to tear down those walls, challenge divisive narratives, and embrace the richness that diversity brings to our societies. This is a call to action, to reflection, and to building a more just and inclusive future for all. See you next time.